Why does your back feel worse when you're holding a kid or one of your grandkids? It's not just the weight of the child, it's the way you're holding them. So, if you're a parent or a grandparent, chances are you've carried a baby or fed one while hunched over, shoulders tight, maybe leaning on one hip. It feels natural in the moment, but over time, that posture can lead to serious strain on your spine, especially if you're already dealing with stiffness, disc issues, or past injuries. So, today, let's talk about what's actually happening to your body and how to hold and feed a baby in a way that keeps you and your spine healthy. Let's first start off with carrying and basically how not to carry or the positions to stay out of when you're holding on to a child. So you see a carrier, these are very popular and I like them too, but you still have to watch out with the postures that you're in while the baby is in there and, baby toddler. So this is a, rather large toddler for this mom. Again, if you're a parent or grandparent, you're going to have to hold your kids, and especially if they're toddlers, and getting them to where they need to go and where you need to go. But we want to watch out that, okay, they're in this carrier, but all that weight in the front is pulling her hips forward. Her mid back is going back, and it's causing a lot of stress and strain on the low back, on the mid back, on the entire body and spine, actually. So you want to, just like with normal posture, you want to align that as much as you can and take, well, I'll be mentioning this more than likely uh, multiple times on this video, is taking breaks, shifting positions. So here is just simply pulling the hips back. But there is a limit, right? So you have to, again, take breaks, and watch your posture and be aware of it, especially as you're learning how to do this. Another popular position for parents and grandparents is holding their kids on their hip. So then that shifts the hips to the side, your lower body to the side, your spine and trunk to the other side. And then, yeah, it can feel like, okay, that feels good. That in the moment, it's okay, because it creates that nice shelf for your child or grandchild to sit on. But again, over time, that accumulation of stress and strain is going to add up on your spine, on your body, on your joints, and wear them down. So again, taking breaks, shifting positions, which again, I'll show you here in a second, the ways to do that, or the positions that are best. And you want to avoid the twisting of it too. And because if you're twisting and now shifting to the side, it adds another layer of stress and strain onto the discs, onto the bones, onto the joints. So here's what you do instead. Now, I'm going to link to a video of the abdominal brace maneuver exercise. So that you want to incorporate into one, especially lifting the child up, but then even carrying and holding as well to help stabilize the spine. So I'll link to that video. But here, what you want to do is you want to evenly distribute the weight on both legs instead of shifting one to the other. See, she's a lot better in this one where it's upright, her body's more upright. And yes, you're going to probably lean a little bit, but it doesn't have to be excessive. You want to lean as minimally as possible. You're having weight on one side, your body just, again, is automatically going to go into that other position. It's a reflex that we have. And here's, again, another example of child on one side, you start leaning to the other side, creating that shelf on the hip. Now she's wearing this hip belt or this carrier here, which I'll show you an example of at the end, to help to distribute the weight where the baby can sit on that. And these external methods, that they're great, but they don't take the place, and you can just forget about being aware of what your posture and what your spine is doing. Try to keep the baby, the child, above the hip, or like, centered around a little bit above the hip level. Switch sides often, alternate hips, alternate arms. Now, if you're carrying something heavier like a car seat or even a stroller, possibly if you have to, package that up. For that, and with everything else, you want to hold it as close to your body as possible. And I'll again link to another video showing you how to lift, all right, and hold objects to take stress and strain off of your spine, off of your back, so you can do it easier and puts more of the work on and load onto the strong muscles of the hips. So there, and then what about feeding? Well, when you're feeding a baby, try not to lean over forward. Don't tense your shoulders, shrug your shoulders. This is a great position here where you're sitting down, you're sitting upright, looking down slightly. I know you want to look at the baby, your grandbaby, you want to look at them, but you want to avoid it for prolonged periods of time, or the entire time that you're feeding them. Having the baby on a pillow or some type of support to bring it up towards you, to bring it the pillow up towards your chest. Limit the looking down, like I said. Pillows, blankets, anything to support your body up. And I talk about this even with our technology, right? That we use. If we have a laptop, put it on our lap. We have using a phone or smartphones. Same thing. We want to prop those up too. This is a video about babies and toddlers and holding them and feeding them and carrying them, but we can still take cues from this to use in our other everyday activities, right? So here are a few baby seats or carriers that I saw on Amazon, and I'll link to these in the description below. They both have pretty good reviews. This one has a lot of reviews. This one doesn't have as many, but there's give and take, right? There's a trade-off. So this one is less expensive, little bit, it's got really good reviews, but less of them, whereas this has a lot more reviews. And so again, like I'll link to these. We don't want to just completely depend on these. They're a nice thing to have, and I would highly recommend them, but that doesn't absolve you from just putting them in there, putting the baby on there, and not paying attention to your posture. Now, so these, carrying, lifting, holding, these are one of those everyday activities that we do every day, whether it's a toddler, whether it's a baby, or just a bag, a backpack. So we want to make sure we are putting our bodies and our spines in the best position possible, so we are not injuring them, not putting excessive stress and strain. So that's why I created this everyday posture plan, going through various postures to make sure that you are in a neutral position for your spine, putting the load and the stress and strain on the muscles, the joints that should have it, rather than on the maybe smaller muscles, the more delicate structure of the spine. So if you want to make everyday movements safer, smoother, and pain-free, I'll link to this everyday posture plan below with a huge discount because you're watching the video and you got all the way to the end. So until next time, again, use these tips, use your everyday posture plan and the other videos I linked to, use them to make your life simple, pain-free, everyday movements pain-free, and then also to be your own guarantee for your health and your life. Till next time.